having his tuition fee subsidized by the Spanish government. So in total, he will pay around 900 euros for 1 year of studies.
السلام عليكم، أنا معكم أسامة. هذا الفيديو بدي أحكي فيه عن أرخص دولة في أوروبا اللي هي اسبانيا للدراسة بالخارج. حكينا بفيديو سابق إنه هاي أرخص دولة لأنه بتقدر تدرس فيها لغاية 800 يورو بالسنة. بعض الجامعات فيها ممكن تدرس فيها مجانا، بس هاي لها شروط كثيرة. لكن بهذا الفيديو بدي أشرح لكم كيف تجيبوا قبول من جامعة إسبانية، وإذا أنت ما بتحكي لغة إسبانية بدي أدلكم على معهد كامبس سبين اللي بيساعدك إنك تدرس لغة إسبانية لمدة 3 شهور 6 شهور سنة، قد ما أخذك وقت. بعد هيك هذا المعهد بيسجلك بالجامعة وبيساعدك بإجراءات الفيزا. كمان للطلاب اللي ما لهم حدا بإسبانيا، ما بيعرفوا حدا بإسبانيا وخايفين من الوضع هذا، هذا المعهد بيساعدك انه ياخذك من المطار، يساعدك بالتيكت، يساعدك انك تلاقي سكن هناك، وحتى ممكن كمان يدلك كيف تلاقي شغل، لانه باسبانيا بتقدر تشتغل لغاية 30 ساعة بالاسبوع. الشغلة الثانية اللي بتخلينا نقرر أو نحكي إنه إسبانيا دولة ممتازة للدراسة بالخارج، لأنه إسبانيا بعد ما تتخرج من البكالوريوس أو من الماجستير بيعطوك سنة إنك تشتغل فيها، أو سنة إنك تدور على شغل، ولما تلاقي شغل مباشرة بتقدر تحصل عقد عمل تأخذ عليه إقامة، وبعديها بتقلب هاي الإقامة إقامة دائمة. دولة إسبانيا مش كثير ناس بيعرفوا عنها بصراحة، لكن لما نقارنها بكندا أو بأمريكا أو ببريطانيا، هاي الدولة هي أفضل منهم كلهم مجتمعين، لأنه فعليا أنت بتقدر تدرس بسعر رخيص، وبس تتخرج بتقدر انك تدور على شغل وتلاقي شغل، وبمجرد ما لقيت شغل بيعملوا لك سبونسرشيب وبتقدر تقعد فترة غير محدودة. لانه بامريكا وبكندا لازم تقعد سنة او سنتين او 3 سنوات وتدور على شخص يعمل لك سبونسرشيب، وبدك تدفع بلاوي للمحامي. لكن باسبانيا هذا الحكي مش موجود تماما. سنة دراستك بتخلصها، سنة بتدور على شغل، لو لقيت شغل بشهر بشهرين، بأول ما تلاقي شغل بيحولوا لك إياه لا إقامة، وخلص أنت بتقدر تستقر هناك. مقابلتنا هاي راح تكون مع مز كيتي. مز كيتي هي مسؤولة القبول بمعهد كامبس سبين. راح تشرح لنا كل إشي بتعلق بالدراسة بإسبانيا، سواء لغة بكالوريوس أو ماجستير، وكيف تعمل الخطوات خطوة خطوة. راح تحكي لنا عن تكاليف الدراسة سواء بالجامعات أو لدراسة الماجستير. الشغلة الثانية راح تحكي لنا عن تكلفة دراسة اللغة عندهم، وليش هم أرخص معهد وأفضل معهد. راح تحكي لنا عن إجراءات الفيزا، كيف تزيد فرصك في الحصول على الفيزا. يعني راح ناخذ منها كم معلومات هائل راح يساعدنا كثير، وراح تستفيدوا من هذا الفيديو، خصوصا للطلاب اللي بيحبوا يقدموا لحالهم للجامعات وللمعاهد. هذا الفيديو مقدم من شركة كيسان للاستشارات التعليمية. شركة كيسان هي شركة خدمات جامعية بنساعد الطلاب في الحصول على قبول من عدة دول من برا، سواء كانت إيرلندا، إسبانيا، كندا، أمريكا، كل هاي الدول بنساعد الطلاب بأنهم يدرسوا فيها. والشغلة الثانية والأهم من هيك إنه بنساعد الطالب بالحصول على الفيزا. يعني مش بس بنجيب له القبول، لا، بعد ما يجيب القبول بنقدم له الفيزا وبنزيد فرصه بالحصول على الفيزا.
Okay.
Hello, Ms. Katie. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for giving us some time to ask all of our questions that we discussed. We're going to start by asking you a question about why students should choose Spain as a destination to study abroad.
Well, hello. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me and for your time as well. It's a pleasure for me to answer all questions that students who are considering to go to absolutely different country from theirs to study abroad, let's say, and to answer all their possible questions and resolve their doubts. So regarding your question, why should they choose Spain? Well, of course, each student has his or her personal reasons why to choose this or that country. But we have come up with some possible reasons that maybe will be similar to those that a student is considering. So first of all, if I had to put in a certain sequence the reasons based on their importance. I think that the most important one would be the relation between price and quality that Spain offers in terms of its higher education. That means that an international student who would like to come to study here will be able to complete his bachelor's or master's degree in one of the top-ranked universities, having his tuition fee subsidized by the Spanish government. So in total, he will pay around 900 euros for 1 year of studies. Well, and if we mention secondary reasons, there will be lots of them, of course, but maybe among the most important ones would be the economic and social indicators of Spain. So first of all, it is one of the safest countries in Europe. And I can assure you that it is really so. And I know that, well, this indicator is quite important for an international student and for his parents, of course. So why I am so sure that it is a real number, a real indicator, that not something taken from Google, because within those years that we have been working with international students, bringing them here to Spain, we didn't have any security issues. Apart from that, Spain is a country that has one of the best healthcare systems in the world, and I know that it's also a very important thing to consider for students and their parents as well. And the last but not least is that Spain is one of the most tolerant countries in the world. So whatever country a student comes from, whatever religion he is, whatever race he is, he will feel himself absolutely comfortable and welcome here.
Well, thank you for your answer. That was actually, that's great that students can, work and study for very affordable. I don't want to say affordable. I want to say affordable compared to the quality of education. I'm going to move to my next question, which is, what are the requirements to study a bachelor's or master's in Spanish universities? I'm talking about public universities.
Yeah, okay. Of course, the requirements will depend on a university that a student is considering for his university studies. And apart from that, it depends on the program that a student is interested in. But let's generalize it. So one of the most important requirements will, of course, be a certificate that proves that a student has a certain level of Spanish. We usually recommend students who are considering public universities for their studies to have at least B2 level of Spanish. And well, for the bachelor's degree, a student will have to present his high school transcripts and his high school diploma. And for the master's degree, he's supposed to present his bachelor's degree diploma and transcripts. Here I should mention two important things regarding the master's degree. So first of all, please take into consideration that a bachelor's degree that you have coursed, if you are interested in a master's degree in Spain, should be of at least 3 years, because in Spain, if a program if the program's duration is less than 3 years, it is not considered as a bachelor's degree. And the second one is that there should be a connection between the bachelor's course and the master's that you are considering.
What about the Spanish language requirements?
Well, as I have already mentioned, normally a student is required to have a B2 level of Spanish. Of course, if he's considering a program that is 100% taught in Spanish, or that has at least several subjects learned that are taught in Spanish. So B2 is the requirement.
And how long does it take a student who doesn't know any Spanish to learn Spanish and get to B2 level?
First of all, I would like to say to those students who are considering Spain for their university studies, but who don't have any prior level of Spanish, that they shouldn't consider it as an obstacle, because there is nothing impossible in this world. So especially for those students who would like to study and don't know any word in Spanish, we have a pathway program that is called the Spanish LCA, that will help you to learn the Spanish language from the very beginning till B2 level. One more thing here to mention is that Please don't worry about the timings, because Spanish is one of the most friendly languages in terms of learning it. So it is really possible to obtain a very good proficiency in Spanish within a short period of time.
Now, getting back at the requirements to study in Spain, do universities or you guys require a bank statement from the student?
Spanish universities and us as an organization that helps international students to get admitted to these universities, we do not require a bank statement as part of the pack of documents in order for a student to be admitted. This document is required for a student's visa application, and to tell the truth, it is one of the most important documents, because Spanish consulate should be sure that each student who comes here has enough money to finance his studies and his day-to-day expenditures. So for those students who are applying for the Spanish LCA program, the requirement of the financial statement is of at least 13,000 euros on their bank account. So that includes one part of the tuition fee for the program. We're going to mention it, I guess, a little bit later during this conversation. And another part is the money that a student is going to use while he's staying here in Spain. So how it is calculated. For each month of a student's stay in Spain, he is supposed to have at least 700 euros. So we multiply 700 per 10 months of his stay, and we have here 7,000 euros.
How much does it cost to study Spanish at your institute on campus Spain?
Okay, so the tuition fee for the Spanish LCA program is of 7,900 euros. But it includes all our services throughout the whole process. So let me list what is included in this price. First of all, of course, it includes the Spanish language classes. Each student is going to have 750 hours of Spanish classes during the course. Apart from that, it includes out of the classroom activities. So this will allow a student not only to get acquainted with the Spanish culture, but at the same time to practice the language in real life situations. It also includes academic orientation sessions, during which we're going to help a student to choose correctly a university for his future studies. It includes our assistance in a student's visa application. So we are going to control that a student has all the necessary documents, that all these documents are correct, have all necessary stamps, seals, and signatures, so that the only thing that a student will have to worry about is just to arrive to a Spanish consulate on time with all his documents. Apart from that, we're going to assist with the admissions to university after completing the Spanish LCA program. We will help a student to open a bank account in a local bank, and we're going to help him to legalize his stay in Spain, so he is going to receive a residence permit. And it also includes some extra services, like, for example, a medical insurance that covers absolutely all for the duration of the program. It also includes an emergency contact with Spain team, so if something happens to a student, whatever time of the day it is, he can always write and contact us. And well, apart from that, as a bonus, we're going to pick the student up from the airport when he arrives to Spain, and we're going to provide him with a welcome pack. So these are like the most necessary things for the first days of his stay in Spain. So it includes the Spanish SIM card, the public transportation card, so that he could move around the city.
That's great. That's great. Well, you know what? I think you guys are one of the very few institutions who provides all of that. Because I remember when I studied in the US, I struggled with those things. I didn't know how to pick a company, like to buy a SIM card, or I didn't know how to open a bank account, what are the requirements and all of that. So that's very good to know. Thank you. I'm gonna move to my next question, which is, how much does it cost roughly, like in a nutshell, how much does it cost to study at public universities in Spain?
Okay, so I will begin from the basis of the question why the price is this or that. That is very important to understand. So as you probably know, Spain is divided into several regions, and each region has its own government. So it's the government of each region who decides what part of the tuition fee they are going to subsidize. So we have a kind of a map that shows those regions with the highest subsidy provided by the Spanish government. So in these regions, the tuition fee that is in fact paid by the student is really low. So it's between 600 and 1,500 euros per year. There are some regions where the subsidy from the government is lower. So obviously, the tuition fee there is a little bit higher. So it's between 1,500 and 3,500 euros. And there are like the most expensive regions where the tuition fee starts from 3,500 euros and higher, even for public universities. So these are obviously such regions as Madrid and Catalonia. So yeah, the prices are more or less like this.
Great, great. And I'm sorry, I keep asking about the costs to study in Spain, but this is one of the important things for our students. How much does it cost to live as a student in Spain? Like short answer in general, from to, let's say.
Okay, the beginning of my answer will probably be like very typical. It depends. So yeah, it depends on the city where a student is going to live. But as it was mentioned during one of our previous questions, so for the Spanish consulate, a student is supposed to have 700 euros per each month of his stay in Spain. So let's generalize it and say that in general, for most part of Spanish cities, 700 euros is enough to rent a dorm, to pay for food and well, for the internet connection. So compared to other popular study destinations, really Spain is the cheapest one.
If we want to move to the visa requirements, what are the visa requirements like, and how to improve my chances of getting the Spanish visa or the Schengen visa, let's say?
Okay, so the requirements are more or less the same for all countries. So a student will be required to present his police clearance certificate, medical certificate, his academic documents, of course, the financial statements. So in general, the pack of documents is more or less the same. What is a little bit different in case of Jordan is that a police clearance certificate should be issued.
So, Kathy, how long does the process take? Like either getting accepted in your Spanish language school, and how long does the visa take?
So for those students who are interested in applying for the Spanish LCA program, the process is as follows. So first of all, he should or she should send us the application form that they can ask for in Kisan agency. And they should send it to us together with a scanned copy of his or her passport. Once we revise these documents, we invite the student for a brief interview. And after the interview, we prepare a brief written feedback on everything that was discussed with the student. And then we send it to the University of Vigo admissions team. So it's the admissions team of the university who is going to take the final decision on each candidate. Normally, it takes them around 1 week to reply us. And if everything is okay and the student is admitted, then we begin all the necessary preparations for student's visa applications, for application and the rest. And as for the visa, It normally takes 1 month, more or less, from the moment that a student presents his documents at the Spanish consulate till he receives the answer. So please calculate carefully the time in order to apply for the program, so that we have enough time to prepare everything and you could arrive.
That's
here,
great. That's great. Well, thank you for all of your answers. That was actually perfect. Would you like to add anything for our students, for Kisan students?
What I wanted to say is that for those students who are considering studying abroad and they haven't decided still which country they would like to go to, I would like to say that Spain is the best choice that you can make, because it's the country that combines the best relation of price and quality for their university studies. Apart from that, it is a country that is very friendly, that has a very rich culture, wonderful people, wonderful history. So you will feel yourself as if you were home, really, as if you have never left your own country and your family and friends, because you will make very easily lots of friends once you arrive. And please don't be scared of learning the Spanish language in order to study here, because as I have already mentioned during this interview, Spanish is one of the most friendly languages in terms of learning it. So it's very easy, believe me. Don't be scared at all. And I really advise you to begin your adventure here in Spain.
Well, great. You know, we're so excited to tell our students about it. It's a great destination. Everybody's looking for it, especially in the last 2 years. So that's great. Thank you for all the information that you gave us. That was really awesome. I actually personally benefited a lot from this meeting. And hopefully we will see you again in another video.
Yes, me too. I do hope to participate one more time in other videos with you and provide your students with more information and to encourage them even more to choose Spain for their master's or bachelor's degree studies.
Great. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.